Mouse Scouts, Episode 2. Welcome to Mouse Scouts, the show dedicated to bringing you Disney park tips, inspiration, and family-friendly fun. My name is Chris.
And I'm Megan.
And this episode, well, it's Wednesday, so we have some inspiration for you guys today. And today we're going to talk about how you have to let something go in order to pick something new up. So I know I hear through everybody's heads right now, I just invoked the let it go. Okay, but I'm not going to sing it. Don't worry. I'm not that weird. Well, I'm weird, but maybe not that crazy. So, yeah, I think especially when, being like an entrepreneur and stuff, like, I'm always seeing new things that, that interest me and different things that, I might want to work on. And I have to hand it to my wife because she puts up with me, all my shiny object syndrome, this is cool, I want to do this now. This is cool, I want to do this now.
Okay.
And yeah, exactly. She's got to rein me in. And so, I mean, there's countless things that you can do in your life, But the thing is, the more things you take on, the more crowded your life gets. And, especially if you have a day job and you have a wife and you have kids, you have a family to take care of, the more things you bring in, it kind of crowds things out. And so, it really kind of makes sense that you have to really take stock of what you're working on or what things are important to you, to try and figure out what to put down in order to pick something up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, a couple of good examples of this, one of the things that we're seeing right now, even at Disneyland and at Disney World, because they're doing this there as well. But right now, they're building Star Wars Land. Right? It's something new that they're putting into the parks, something that's going to be awesome, something that we're, waiting with bated breath for it to get here.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't come at a cost, or it does come at a cost.
Right.
So
you can't add something new without taking something else away. In this case, they'll be rerouting the railroad. They will be changing Tom Sawyer's Island and the Rivers of America. And all those things are closed right now while they're working on it. So, some people might not think that it's worth the cost, but others clearly feel that it was well worth it. And so we'll just have to see how that works out.
I have to say, one thing that I'm waiting and super excited about is to be able to fly the Millennium Falcon.
That
is going to be
so awesome,
so cool. But I digress. I mean, we could talk about our hopes and dreams for the Star Wars Land and what we hope to see in it, for hours. But that's not what this episode is about. So, Megan and I have just started this brand new project in, doing this podcast. We're also working on the book of park tips, for Disneyland, when it comes to visiting with children. But, this is a big project that we're working on. And so naturally something had to get put down, even if it's temporary. And one of the last things I was doing was a podcast where I was interviewing successful entertainers about how they are making their business work,
mm-hmm.
And after 2 years of doing that, Megan and I had been talking about doing this project, and we wouldn't have been able to do that unless we picked something to put down for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how this is played out in our life right now. Because, you can have only so many irons in the fire. Now, there's another interesting thing that I wanted to also bring up is there's a book by Seth Godin called The Dip. And in it, he talks about quitting, basically, or pushing through, hardships, or maybe you're working so hard on a project and you're not seeing anything come about in it, but what he talks about in that is to know when to quit. People say all the time that that quitters never win. But what Seth talks about in his book is that winners quit all the time. They just know what to quit and when to quit. So that's a really good book that I would recommend you guys pick up if this is something that interests you. But one of the things I would say is to set a time limit on yourself. Promise to yourself that you're going to work on a specific project for a set amount of time and really put all of your effort to it so that, you're giving it your best go. And then, mark on your calendar, say, maybe a year or 2 years out, take a look at it, take stock of how things have gone, and then decide at that point whether or not you want to continue doing it or if you want to put that down and pick up something else. Mm-hmm. So that's a great way to really kind of try and organize these different things so you're not working on everything at once and getting nowhere on anything because was it Confucius say, man who chases two rabbits catches none, or whoever that is, I don't know, but it's an old ancient proverb that you hear everywhere. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on this?
Just like you were saying, you can't pick up something without having to give something up. And it's easy to look at it and say, well, you know what? I've never learned how to, do whatever. I've never learned how to do floral arrangement before. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to really work on doing floral arrangement. And that's all great and all, but the thing is that your time has been filled with stuff before, and you need to consider, what are you going to give up to pursue this dream of floral arrangement? You're going to give up watching TV in the evenings. All right. That's something you can probably do without. You're going to give up
the net all the time.
Right. You're going to give up spending time with your significant other. Maybe that one would be a little bit more, problematic. So it's not necessarily that, you just haven't ever tried it before. And so that's why you're not, really getting to it. It could be that your life right now is too full of things that you're not willing to drop in order to achieve the thing that you think that you might want to, mm-hmm. if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think so. Could I get your perspective on kind of how things in our life are going in respect to that? I mean, because like I said, I have shiny object syndrome. Anything that moves remotely, business-wise or whatever, I'm like jumping on.
Yes. I think this is probably your, fourth or fifth big, I'm going to do this and it's going to succeed in the last, 4 years.
Touche.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And it's great. You are very good at being farsighted in your goals. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get a little bit less nearsighted about what you need to do to get there. Mm-hmm. You focus too much on the end result.
Right. But that's where you come in.
Well, and I'm a little bit better at but right now we really need you to do this. I know it's really great. That thing's going to pay off in 2 years. Right now, could you please go and load the dishwasher?
Or how about you get dressed and so we can go out, right?
Right. We're leaving in 10 minutes, and I see you haven't been in the shower yet. So, yeah. But I'm spending my time researching this. Yeah, well, So I think you've done a good job. I think because we talked a lot about you putting down your prior podcast, and it wasn't quite paying off yet the way that you were hoping that it would, and you had this project that you wanted to do, and this project, whereas the previous podcast was something that was just you. Mm-hmm. And, I would frequently, when you did your interviews, I would frequently take the kids out, and we'd basically be banned from the house for an hour and a half or so. It wasn't that severe, but, trying to find something to do with 3 little kids out and about isn't always easy.
Yeah.
But this one is more of a family-related thing. I mean, you and I are working on this together, so that actually means more time that we're spending together rather than me having to be somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And also, we're getting the kids involved in it.
Yeah.
And so, that's more time spent with them. And I tell you, every day you come home and Kit's like, I want to do a podcast. It doesn't matter if we've only got 5 minutes before we need to leave. I want to do a podcast.
Yeah.
So the kids are enjoying it too.
And that's one of the things that makes this different. And one of the things that's really exciting me about this is because I'm able to work on this with you. I'm able to have the kids come in, and, this is really more of a family effort than, than me, trying to run things and trying to do everything myself. And, I can say even just at the beginning of this right now, it's incredibly rewarding, getting to be able to get behind the mic here with you. So, yeah. But yeah, so, I think that pretty much wraps up things for this talk. I had an idea for a future show is, maybe talking about how spousal support is important in different projects you may be working on. So
I think it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Oh, I can tell you it makes all the difference. So we will definitely talk about that in a future episode. In the meantime, you can email us at fun@gomousescouts.com. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Just look for @GoMouseScouts or Mouse Scouts on Facebook, and as well as @Disneyland whenever we're frequently there. Also, be sure to visit GoMouseScouts.com and pick up your free Day at Disney resource pack, which you'll be able to find there for free. So until next time, take care. We'll talk to you later.